Hey everyone, my name's Andy. I'm from Finding Value Finance. I'll be your host today. I've got Casper with us. I wanted to bring him on to see what he thinks looks good at the moment, maybe what doesn't look good, and get his opinions. So thanks for coming on, Casper. Appreciate it.
Yeah, same here. And we've been talking for 2 weeks to have this this discussion or this video. So finally, we made it happen. So that's good. It's good to be back.
I was trying to get you on before the breakouts
Yeah,
occur, which I think we do have a breakout coming up here in one of the metals is what I'll say. So, what's your opinions on the market? What are you seeing now? What gets you excited with the charts that you see going on right now?
yeah. I think last time we spoke, I think gold has already broken out heavily. Yes, it has pulled back, but I think the long-term trend is set. And for gold, the path of least resistance is up. Silver is lacking. But again, I think we can look into the chart here in quite a bit. Silver's lacking a bit, but we did tag 30. We came back to 26, which was the big breakout level, and now we're resuming back up again. So a textbook breakout into massive resistance retest, and it looks like we're going to break the 30 here on the fourth touch. Usually you get the breaks on the fourth. So yeah, silver also, but I think like we discussed here before we went live, let's do platinum first. I think platinum is probably the most exciting to look at if I can share the screen here. There it is. Good. Let me know. Is it good? Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So platinum here. I think we should take like a little bit of a longer view just to start with. Again, just to recognize the importance of this long-term rail here, which basically goes back to 2008. Then we had a massive move up again there, like, I don't know, like a reflation, whatever you want to call it. And ever since, you can see this rail has just been resistance until we hit, the 2020. And if we zoom in here, what gets me excited is that actually we are back above that rail. By the way, this is on log scale. If you go to a nominal scale, this rail makes a bit more sense because it's actually straight below here. So just keep that in mind. But what gets me excited here for platinum is, and you have seen it before, we have talked about it, I think finally we are ready to go here from that massive 4-year long sideways to basically to down here, inverted head and shoulders that is in the making. And the trigger point is, let's call it $1,100 for platinum. Then we are finally in the go here for platinum. And if you look at the miners, some of the miners is actually already reacting to it. You can see that they're basically also trying to get moving. But the funny thing with platinum miners, there's very few miners to pick and choose from. But the ones that I'm looking at is definitely trying to get going here. So yeah, platinum here, we are right now at roughly 1,040. So getting above again here, 1,080, let's call it 1,100 just for easy measure. Then the neckline is broken from this 4-year structure. And you know how to measure a move like that. That should lead, the initial first move up should be something like, let's call it $1,600 for platinum in the first move, and then we see how it evolves. But if we get anything similar to back here in 2002, I mean that we could be in for a big run for platinum. We have this smaller 4-year breakout, but we also have the confirmation of the 15 years, 16 years long breakout. So platinum, again, we have been talking about it for the past, maybe like past year, half a year, but it's getting closer and closer. And just like I do, that platinum is a very, very tiny market. Again, we don't need a lot of cash to flow into to platinum and the miners before it goes up big time. So yeah, platinum I think is heavily underlooked, and should be taken care of here when we get, 1100 and change. So
what about silver?
good
Is
old
silver
silver.
still looking pretty good? About to
It's,
launch?
it's looking
Yep.
amazing, just to say the least here, and that says a lot. Says a lot from Dane when he says it's amazing, because it takes a lot to get us going. We are very humble, but yeah, I mean, I think we talked last time. Had we broken out? I think we had. I can't remember, but I think we had just broken out. I think we talked like 4 weeks ago. So we have broken out. The big level was $26, give or take. We broke out. We spiked into 30, and as you know, 30 was the 2020 high. Then we had the what's it called, the silver squeeze, and now again we have tacked it for the third time. And yeah, the fourth time is often the charm when you have these big long-term breakouts. And I think we are about to do it again, or to finally do it, excuse me, for silver. We tagged 30 again, the retest into to 26, and it looks like resumption for silver.
And here's some more questions around this. A lot of people ask, or a lot of the questions that I get is, would you trade your silver for platinum right now? Because the ratio is low. We just looked at both of these charts. What is your opinion around that? And I can share my opinion too after if you'd like. But
Yeah, I haven't been looking at the ratio for a very long time, but if I remember correctly, I think platinum is still more undervalued than silver, but I haven't looked at it in like, I don't know, 6 months or so. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. But the way I'm doing it is that I'm playing both sides. So I'm not taking one or the other, but I'm having both physical platinum, physical silver, and I play the miners. So I just want to be on both of them. And yes, one will do more than the other. It could be platinum again. It's a very small market, but I'm having more in silver compared to platinum. Right or wrong, I think I'll do well in both. Let's say. So that's how I do it.
yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
Yeah, it's
Because
I'm not. Yeah,
they
go
both
ahead.
look good.
Yeah, they do. They do. But I think the most impressive chart, by the way, and I think a lot of all of your listeners and viewers should be looking at right now. I don't know if you can guess it. It's a ratio, the gold to silver ratio. The gold to silver ratio. Basically, I just tried to align it here just before we went on. I deleted a lot of stuff going on, by the way. But as you can see here, I think we have the CPI tomorrow, right? Don't we? I think is it CPI? I
I
can't
think it was
remember. We
already
have
released.
no, we have some data. I think it doesn't matter, but you can see here basically we are about, and I also posted this on Twitter like a few days ago. I do that, every week more or less, because we have been tagging this orange line here like, I don't know, 8-10 times, this rail that we have right here. And I think it looks heavy here to the downside. I think the pressure is finally about to give in. And just a quick summary here for the gold to silver ratio. You want this to go down because that means silver is outperforming gold. And that's more or less always, when we have both gold going up, silver going up, but silver is going up a lot more. So this will be, in my view, we had the first move down here from March 2020 down to early 2021. And now we are going finally for that third wave down here. And I think the whole gold to silver ratio is like a video for itself because it has some very, very interesting Fibonacci's. I think we have been looking at them before, but basically they are pointing to that we are, again, going to be going a lot lower in the ratio, and silver will outperform, but I don't think gold will go down, meaning you will actually have silver doing some quite amazing stuff here while gold is going to 3K and then beyond. So gold to silver ratio.
This ratio
Yeah.
here, that also fell at during the last commodity bull market in like 2001 too, somewhere in that range. And
Yes.
then we saw that silver outperformed gold during the last commodity bull market. And that's when all of the commodities rallied at the same time. Uranium, oil, nat gas,
platinum.
like everything
Yeah,
rallied at that time.
yeah. And the similarities are not dead on, but it's just
Oh two, oh
it's
two.
very. Oh, excuse me. O2. Yeah, okay, my bad
Yep,
here. You
yep.
have base. Yeah, yeah, okay.
2002.
Yeah. You also have the 2008, but again, it's
Mhm.
I think this one is more, it looks a bit more like the same. We have that first move down and then we collapse completely. So, but that's
Gotcha.
2008, and then we have the basically the crisis, and then we collapsed big time there in the ratio. But if you're speaking about 2003 or 2008, you can clearly see that silver is outperforming no matter which time frame you think where you think we are basically.
Mhm.
But yeah, gold to silver ratio is one you should be looking for again. When this breaks, it will break, in my opinion. It's just a matter of time. And it looks really heavy now. So we could be on the brink here of that finally. And yes, we have been talking about it for like half a year together, you and I, but still, it looks good. Um,
Is is there any like what with silver outperforming gold, does that tell us anything? Is it a significance of anything that you've seen compared to history where when silver outperforms gold, these other things outperform with it? Anything like that?
I don't have any specific, you know, thing to mention to that. Maybe you have something you want to share. I don't have any, straight off the bat here just
I was just
to share.
curious.
So yeah, okay. No,
So silver's about to rip then.
it seems like it. Again, 30 is the big level to go through. I think we have done all the hard work getting above 26 after like 3, 4 years. And now it's just textbook breakout, retest, and hopefully resumption. And then we are in for a quick move. I think the measured move is roughly, I think, is it 45 or 48? So basically, with some overshooting, you will hit 50. And as your viewers know, 50 is a big. I think it is the all-time high going back 50, 40, 50 years, whatever. So that's a big one to get through. And we will
Yeah, if
have
we
a
can
big
break through
pullback, by the way.
50.
So yeah, I think we'll have a big pullback. Again, that would be the third touch. We'll have a decent sized pullback. I don't know how far it would go. And then on the fourth, we will break. Just like on platinum that we looked at, the fourth time is often the charm. So
And that'll be like euphoric, right? Like we'll have a huge run if we break 50,
yeah, for
right?
sure, for sure. There's no overhead, price resistance. There are Fibonacci's and all that, but from a price point of view, it's fresh air. So yeah, it's just like on gold. When we finally broke, I think it was 2100. It has just gone up ever since. Yes, we are both lagging now, but it's fresh air, and it just, yeah, that's a good thing to have fresh air above. So
Yeah. So playing this bull market, physical metals, and
yes.
then the miners. How about the miners? What are they? Oh, you're just yeah. What are the miners doing, or how does that compare to gold? Are we looking good?
I think I have it is the GDX that looks fantastic. Yeah, it's the GDX. I think the silver miners and the GDX also looks good, but I think the big key here is actually the junior miners in gold that is telling that actually we're about to have a 14-year long breakout. You can see here again the highs from 2010, and then we have just been hammering on it here a few times. And also you have this internally a bit skewed, but again, it's valid. In your head and shoulders, we have broken out. We are into resistance. So getting above, whoops, excuse me for that mess. Whoops, there it is. You can see here we are into big resistance here. And also this level here at roughly 44, you can see if we like add a zone here that it's also a big horizontal resistance with a lot of interactions going along the way. So yeah, getting above, let's call it 45 in the GDX, the juniors, that is, then it's also pretty much game on for finally for the minors. So yeah, it's not too
Man,
shabby.
we're getting close. So if this breaks out, I mean, do you expect a really big move out of this thing?
Yes, I do. Again, we have some short-term resistances that we need to get through, and the big one is more or less always the what I call it the triangle high here. It's not as much as a triangle, but that's definitely the big pivot high there. And ever since, we have basically been trying to break the resistance line that is created from that top. So that will be, the first big resistance at roughly 66. But I do think when and if it breaks, it shouldn't take long to get there, really, because you have so much pressure, cooking on these miners. They're heavily underinvested into, undervalued, and yeah, that's the perfect place to be. I still think people are in disbelief, that they don't think that this is going to happen, but yeah, that is what makes a market, I guess. So,
Do you favor this? Do you favor the seniors or the juniors right now?
I think a lesson learned maybe from a uranium play is that, and I think that goes with everything. I think the big names will move first, and then you're going to see that dribbling effect. As the longer you get into the breakout and the bull market, you'll see the mid caps, the juniors, and then the highly speculative stocks at the end will have its move. So yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is that some of the juniors don't run until they actually like reflate the economy. It's like
Yeah,
they kind
right.
of don't do anything for a while, and then right at the end.
Yeah, but then they spike
Um,
for like a 10x, in like, I
yes,
don't know, 2 months or so, and then it's over. So
it just blows it all in
it's
one shot.
yeah, exactly. So
Um, do you think do you think whatever's coming in front of us for this gold silver kind of bull market, do you think it's going to last a long time, or do you think it's going to be really short, compact, and just rip? What's your opinions around that?
I think it could be a mix. I think we are somewhat at the end of this whole financial system, you can say. I do think that the bull market that we had in the 2000s was actually cut off a bit too early. I think the what's it called, the big guys managed to stop gold and silver from going higher there. I think the ratio stopped at 30-1. I think it could easily have gone down to 15-1. Um, but again, that just leaves a lot more pressure for this time around, because I think we are going into at least 15-1 in the gold to silver ratio. And yeah, so I think it will be longer, but I also think it could be a lot more volatile, actually, with big moves up, but then also with some heavy drops along the way. Um, but I do think we still have this decade in front of us to take advantage of it. But that's from what we have learned here for the past 4 years. It is not for the faint at heart. You need to have a lot of belief and what's it called? Yeah, believe that you are on the right track, because you will see these in the miners, these 30-50% pullbacks along the way. Just like we saw on uranium, right? We have had, I think, four times between 30 and 40% drop in the URA for the past 4 years. So yeah, it will be violent, but longer, but more volatile, I think, due to the whole economy financial situation.
So it looks to me that gold breakout, silver breakout, the miners look pretty good. They're basically trying to break out right now. What about something like uranium? Can it run with gold and silver going up like this? Or do you think we're going to see a pullback in uranium at the same time that gold and silver goes up?
Um, I think we have been talking about this before. I showed it's not a complex ratio, but if you overlay I think it's the GDX, so that's the gold juniors divided by gold, and you take URA and divide it by gold, the correlation between those two, meaning that if you have, let's say, gold, the miners start to up from gold, typically, uranium will follow, and vice versa. The ratio it's not 1-to-1, it's maybe like 0.7, whatever, but it is there. So yes, most definitely, I think gold miners and gold going up. I think it's just a broad metals move up here. I think everything is going up. If you look at copper, for instance, also copper it looks fantastic. The copper miners has just been exploding for the past 2 months or so. I think it will be everything basically in the metals. but also in other soft commodities. I think it will be, yeah, the commodity bull market that we've been waiting for finally resuming once again.
Yeah. So what's your opinions on URA or whatever you want to talk about with uranium?
I just wanted to, I just deleted a lot of the stuff that I had on. I think many people are actually not pleased with the uranium and how it has been performing. But looking at it from my point of view, ever since we had that mega puke there in 2020, uranium has actually been outperforming the Nasdaq with almost 100%. I think it's like 80% now, but you know, between 80 and 100%, it has outperformed the Nasdaq. But I think maybe people have, me included, have very high hopes for uranium. But again, we are up, at least from the bottom, it's up like 300%, and that's the ETFs. I mean, you have like Cameco, I think it's done like 10x. NextGen has done also 10, 15x. Don't quote me on that, but it has done really well. Energy Fuels has done, 20x. So uranium has done well. And in my view, also, we are just, getting started of this uranium bull market that we're in. We're just into heavy, stiff resistance at roughly 31.5. And if we zoom in, I think it is a pretty, you can see here, basically, we need like you can see we had these 2 wicks there above 31.5, and we got the pullback. But also even here, you have like a massive breakout, and then you have a test again, and now you're trying again. So it could be that we're actually only a day or week away from having that breakout, maybe a bit longer. But again, it looks like this level wants to gets taken out. And when we do, that's when you have the potential of, if I can't get that thing to go away, like the inverse of this, that's when you have the basically the flip side of that move up. And
Yeah, symmetrical.
Yeah, exactly.
Falls is the way it goes up. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, we have a major gap here from the Fukushima. And I think ever since we started to talk together 2 years ago, whatever, that's when I thought this gap will close. And I'm still heavily in favor of that gap over here to at least getting closed. And then we shall see. So we still have some way to go. That's a 3x from here in the ETF.
So nothing's broken. There's no problems. Everybody just needs to chill and ride it on up.
Yeah, exactly. And also, again, back to the people being disappointed. We had the uranium ban, and then we had the president, I think yesterday, signing the whatever it's called. And basically, we haven't done anything today. So people are frustrated, but I wouldn't be. I need to see a lot of technical damage before I will say I was wrong. And right now, there's nothing wrong with the chart, looking at the monthly and the weekly chart on my view. So.
Yeah. So uranium looks okay. What about copper? You made a mention of copper looking pretty good. What are you seeing there with copper?
Copper, let's do the commodity first. It's actually up 3% today. That's massive. I know that's I know there's a lot of things going on here, but basically ever since we broke the $4 level, we had a huge deciding moment basically right here when we started to come into the apex of this triangle here. Above 4 was very bullish, and below 3.5 would have been very bearish. And yes, we did break to the upside. We even did a retest of 4, and ever since it has basically gone vertical. I do think we're due for a pause or pullback because we are into the triangle high up here. But again, this is a huge win for copper, and also a sign that we are. Again, I think the next wave of inflation is coming down the pike here. But I do think that copper have a chance of going to 7.5 here if we are to play this parallel channel all the way down here. So yes, that is not tomorrow. That's a few years out, but still, maybe even only 1 year. But copper looks really good. But in the short term, yes, due for a pause, no doubt about it.
Do you think there's more leveraged plays in precious metals versus copper?
I wouldn't know, to be honest. I think I I think they both have, they both have very, high market cap companies that, are very, very solid, and they will do insanely well when the prices go up. But again, they also have some very small, juniors and mid cap stuff that, are, if copper goes up $1, they will go up, with $1 would be like roughly 20%. They will go up 10x due to that, massive leverage that they have, in the ground and all that, how they are set up. So you can find them in both the copper, gold, and silver, uranium. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is the COPEX, the copper miners breaking out of a 3-4 year long, trend line. It looks good. It really does. So
Yeah, it's like we're going into stage, I call it stage two, kind of the big takeoff from that big bottoming pattern.
yeah,
So it looks really good.
yeah, it does.
We have a
It really
long way to
does.
go.
Yeah,
This is a spot where you do nothing. Just hold on.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah, again, just like, gold and silver miners for the past 3-4 years, we haven't done anything, and now we're finally taking off again. So in my view, it would be stupid to take the profits here. Now you had 3 years of pain. Let it at least be 3 years of pleasure. No guarantees, obviously, but again, it's I think if you play this commodity bull market right, and you can stay calm, and and take these 30, 40, 50% pullbacks that you will get for sure, I think you will come out on top over the next 5 years. It will be difficult. It is difficult, but yeah.
I'll ask you one last sector just because I'm interested. What do you think of oil at the moment?
Oil, sure. Let's look at oil. My view on oil long term.
Yeah.
It still looks great. I mean, I think last time we spoke as well, we are still above the mega fractal 3 impulse here. We're just hoovering here. Short term, we are actually at a bit of a short-term crossroad here, in my view. We have this green rail going back roughly 6 months or so, back to the late 2023. I want to make it perfect for you. There it is. You can see here we're attacking it all the way, and now we are here again. So a break there would be very bad short term. Then we could actually go down to roughly, 67, 65 short term. The other side is we have this yellow bullish channel here, bull flag, whatever you want to call it, and a break up from there. Then we have a chance again to tag the big, I want to show you here, if I can just get it going here, rail that we have from the 2022 highs coming all the way down, and that would be a 5th touch. So again, below, let's call it roughly 77, bearish short term, getting above roughly 80. Then we are in for a move to the 82s, then the 84s, and potential that final big 4-year break. And that will happen in May, by the way. It will decide in May which way we go. But
So
the
we have
long-term path,
seasonality on our side for oil.
excuse me, what? Excuse me?
I said at least we have seasonality on our side here in oil with the summer driving months coming
Yeah, the
here.
driving seasons. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I know that Germany, which is I think it is the biggest economy in Europe. They are very happy of driving. They drive easily, 1-2 days to get to their destination in the summer, and then back again, obviously. So yeah, I agree. We have some tailwinds, but we shall see which way we go. Either way, I think long term, we are going, north of 100 again. It just depends on the timing of it.
Yep.
So,
And then maybe one last one about natural gas. You ever look at that one?
yeah, it's been a while actually since a while might be a bit of a exaggerating word here. I think we can go 2 ways here. I think we can go with the TTF. That's the Dutch natural. Again, this long term, I think we talked about it last time as well. This long term trend line is holding, and I think the downtrend has broken. But also again here, just like oil, we have some tailwinds. I do think also the summer month we have some headwinds, with regard to gas. But if we start to go sideways here and we are heading into the winter, I guess you can see that that's when potentially we have we will have the bottom set in, and then we will go higher for the net gas.
That's good. Doesn't look bad.
No, it's at the bottom
So
here. So yeah.
looking at all of these sectors that we just went over today, what would you say looks the best right now of the ones that we looked at? And why?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because looking at the URA getting above 31.5, I mean, then we're back in business. But maybe I will probably. It's a tricky one. It really is.
I know there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it is
Because silver
because
looks good
yeah, it
and
does, and
platinum's
also
breaking out and
yeah,
uranium could break out.
yeah. I mean, uranium has, in my view, uranium has had the big first wave up, and now we are trying to continue the third. But looking at the juniors in gold, I mean, we are about to break that. What is it? 12-year long trend line. So that's the first move or the big breakout in gold miners. So it's difficult. I would take a little bit of all of them. Find the stocks or just play the ETFs. That might be a better option for most of you. But yeah, commodities, metals, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all.
Yeah, I like the gold, silver, platinum space right now
Yeah, yeah,
more so than uranium.
yeah.
But I'm not going to do anything with my uranium holdings. So
No.
that's
But
kind of the way I view it.
yeah, if I were to give it like a slightly, push in that direction, I agree because that's the breakout. I think uranium had its big breakout, and this is the breakout, a decade-long breakout. So I will give it that. I think the precious metals miners are probably the better play, but uranium is still good.
Yeah, uranium's good, but here's the thing. I think a lot of people that are retail investors own uranium equities. I still think retail investors hate gold equities.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
everybody hates it. So
yeah,
I just look at it like, man, that's just a really good opportunity. But that's all I've got for questions. I just wanted to bring you on and get a quick update here. How do people follow your work and how do they follow you?
yeah. Thank you for asking. Again, Twitter is where I started this whole charting journey, and then recently I started my own Substack where I will give more detailed stock picks and daily updates on the commodities and sectors, and we have a big watch list: uranium miners, gold, silver, platinum, shipping. Also, I think shipping is a great way of having for dividends. They pay a hefty dividend, and they look really good. Some of them also. Oil, also gas. So we have a watch list that we are going through a few times per week, and yeah, that's one way to get in touch if that is the case. So
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Casper. Really appreciate it. And we'll see everyone else that's been viewing. And if you made it to the end, put in the comment section, Casper is the man. Put that in the comment section.
do that.
All right. All right. We'll catch everyone later.